Has throws Charles under the bus as ally with his sworn foe, puts dirty fingers in Charles' CBE. Prince Harry has risked another public rift with his father after claiming he raised concerns about the donor in the cash for access scandal. The Duke of Sussex said last night he had severed ties with Mahfouz marry Mubarak bin Mahfouz a year before Prince Charles presented the controversial Saudi billionaire with the CBE. Harry said he had concerns over the businessman's motives. He made the comments after it was revealed that he had held a private meeting with Mr Mahfouz, who has given tens of thousands of pounds to charities associated with the Duke. To say that the Prince of Wales' relationship with his sons is complex is an understatement. Both William and Harry have historically accused Charles of being a laissez-faire father, one more preoccupied with weighty affairs of state and his considerable philanthropic legacy than bath time, wrestling matches and bedtime stories. The billionaire is embroiled in claims that he showered money on charitable causes close to the Prince of Wales in the hope of obtaining an honour and British citizenship. Harry is said to have become concerned about Mr Mahfouz in 2014 and wound down their relationship the following year, having met him twice. But in an extraordinary statement which could spark a family rift, Harry said he had no involvement in what he described as the CBE scandal, insisted he had concerns about the Saudi businessman's motives and claimed he expressed his concerns about him. Charles has been engulfed by criticism in recent months owing to his relationship with Mr Mahfouz and the hundreds of thousands of pounds the billionaire donated to the royals' pet projects via his charitable trust. The Prince's senior aide Michael Fawcett was forced to resign as head of the Prince's Foundation last month over his role in the scandal. An independent investigation last week found Mr Fawcett had colluded with fixers representing Mr Mahfouz who were trying to secure an honour in exchange for donations. Mr Mahfouz is thought to have donated at least £1.5 million to royal charities. The Duke of Sussex said that when he cut ties with Mr Mahfouz in 2015, he expressed his concerns about the donor. But his statement did not make clear to whom he voiced these qualms. The following year, Charles presented the Saudi billionaire with an honorary CBE in a private ceremony at Buckingham Palace. The Prince of Wales and Mr Mahfouz also held private meetings in Scotland and Saudi Arabia. It's not entirely fair, of course. The reality when it comes to the royal family, as with any family, is always more complicated. Like other royals, Charles was deeply hurt at the manner of Harry and Meghan's bitter exit from the family in 2020. Still, as Harry and William's relationship descended into acrimony, their father tried to remain a non-partisan figure, partly because Charles has always shied away from personal confrontation with his sons, but also because he genuinely wanted to retain a Swiss-like neutrality between them. But, while disappointing, the statement from the Prince's Los Angeles-based spokesman effectively throwing his father under a bus over the Cash for Honours investigation did not come as much of a surprise. The comment, which was belatedly issued yesterday after a newspaper highlighted Harry's own links with Saudi billionaire Mahfouz marry Mubarak bin Mahfouz, was at pains to try to emphasize the younger prince's own foresight. It glossed over Harry's private meeting with Mahfouz in a close friend's pub in Chelsea, and a subsequent encounter at Clarence House where he was said to have joked, "Has father beaten me to it and got the money?" Much as there is the notion of collective responsibility at cabinet level, so is it within the folds of the royal family. Defend your position directly and to the point by all means, but not at the expense of your nearest and dearest. Harry's statement, however, was liberally sprinkled with digs at his father, the reference to the CBE scandal, for example. Contrary to claims in the BBC's recent controversial documentary on royals and the media that the three royal households are all too brief against each other, Clarence House was again maintaining a dignified silence last night. But one loyal friend of the Prince of Wales felt obliged to ask, if Harry indeed had such deep concern about this man and his motives, then why on earth did he not tell his charity, Centre Bail, to just hand the £50,000 he had given them back? representing Mr Mahfouz, who were trying to secure an honour in exchange for donations. Mr Mahfouz is thought to have donated at least £1.5 million to royal charities. The Duke of Sussex said that when he cut ties with Mr Mahfouz in 2015, he expressed his concerns about the donor. But his statement did not make clear to whom he voiced these qualms. The following year, Charles presented the Saudi billionaire with an honorary CBE in a private ceremony at Buckingham Palace. The Prince of Wales and Mr Mahfouz also held private meetings in Scotland and Saudi Arabia. It's not entirely fair, of course. The reality when it comes to the royal family, as with any family, is always more complicated. Like other royals, Charles